Should I be paying someone else's school fees? Is that going to be making sense? Who brought you here? Why are you here? And how did you get here?
I had a saying, can't I cook?
Okay, hold on. Let me say something.
I cook my own food.
That part where you said that you're their god, right? That's even like North Korean vibe.
Acquah. 3 days is not enough to decide a life partner.
I beg, it's content though, I beg. I beg.
Here are the prompts for today's episode. Please signify if you agree to this prompt. A man and a woman can never be just friends without an agenda. We have one person agreeing to the prompt. Can those agreeing now speak?
Okay, so I would say, from my perspective, once I see a lady and then I move to you, I have an agenda. The moment I move to you, I have an agenda. I wouldn't go straight forward, but then it will end up as my agenda.
I was a bit skeptical about putting my hand up, but circumstance happens. I think you can meet a lady, you guys can have like a platonic relationship, and ideas will come up to your head. What ifs would come into question, Like, it's not like you have the intention to, but it's like it would come up eventually as a thought. You know what I mean? So that's my take on it.
Thank you. Can those disagreeing now speak?
So I think girls and boys can be just friends because like if we work together or if we are classmates, we can be just friends and nothing like more about it. We respect one another and we have boundaries.
I think, in as much as most of the time I wouldn't be friends with someone who I can't be attracted to, so to speak, I think platonic friendships, platonic relationships are actually a very real thing between guys and girls, and no extra strings have to be attached for a friendship to work.
Third, I believe that platonic relationships can exist, but they just need self-control so that nothing else is created that is outside of the friendship.
So I think that it depends on the person that you're friends with. How is the person, in the person's mind? How does that person think, right? Because I've had male friends and there's nothing extra. So what is on your mind, or what's in your mind, and what's on the person's mind?
Since the agenda in question wasn't specified, I would say it depends on the agenda you have. Maybe it's because you need something from work and you guys ended up being friends, or you are attracted to that person and you want something more than friends, or it depends on what you're thinking, right? But I think a guy and a girl can be friends without having any sexual agendas, because I have like 99% of my friends are guys and there's no form of agenda whatsoever.
All right, thank you. We have 2 minutes to now debate on this prompt.
Okay, so for me, I would say, if I'm not attracted to you, I'm not moving to you. So there's no friendship. You initiate a friendship, then I'm good. I'm not going to bring anything up. But the moment I move to you first, I have an agenda. It's supposed to end there. Yeah.
Thank you.
My name is Acquah, and I'm a student at the African Leadership University studying software engineering in my first year. I'm on the open-minded side. So when I'll say it's very true, yeah, there will definitely be an agenda, because before a guy will move to a girl or like befriend a girl, he will see some beauty in her that will make him take a move and say, hi, how was your name? And then eventually, even if they are like just friends, as time goes on, there's some feelings if they are not no boundaries set, and then the guy will just try and take a move and see if it might work. So yeah, I feel like some way, somehow, it's not like, yeah.
I don't correlate with that though. That's different. I just my take is like, like platonic relationships, it doesn't really happen like, oh yeah, I'm moving to you So I'm saying, like, I see you on the road or something, I get your number. Like, that's not how it works. Like, circumstance, so there's certain situations, you know what I mean, lead to friendships, right? But what you said as well is an important factor, self-control. Self-control, controlling your thoughts, controlling tendencies, or controlling some desires that wouldn't really make sense. I mean, desires are human. Everybody has different desires. Everybody has fantasies that, you know what I mean, may not be um, realistic, you know? So it's really important to consider that in a platonic relationship as well. It's not impossible to be just friends. It's completely normal, but, you know, things like that can happen, and it happens most of the time. You know what I mean?
And I think the person is like, in such relationships, you have to also set boundaries. You want to be friends, but there are boundaries. Okay, am I comfortable with my friend coming to my room? When he comes, is he going to be comfortable there? How is the relationship? How are you guys setting your boundaries? How are you guys discussing your things? Yeah.
I actually had a question to Nana, like, how do you know that these people do not have any hidden agendas? Since you say, like, almost most of your friends list
There are
is
certain
guys.
body languages you can tell when somebody has an agenda, right? Let's say they're a bit more closer than usual. They talk about certain things they wouldn't talk about with normal friends. And if that becomes a frequent something in your friendship, you should know that there's an agenda.
I think that most guys actually, based on what they've both said, most guys that like try to befriend a girl, like let me use myself as an example. Most of them have an agenda, so to speak, yeah, because they made the first move, like, "Hi, how are you doing?" They approached me and all of that. But me now, I'm seeing them from the eye of platonic friendships, no agenda, no end game, and all of that. Subsequently, in the relationship, sometimes that agenda spoils the friendship because it's like they don't want to be platonic friends for so long, and then there's nothing at the end of it. So I feel like that this thing applies to most guys, whereas the ladies' mentality is quite clear that it's platonic. Yeah.
Sexual compatibility is important when dating.
Let's understand the context.
Can the agreeers now speak?
I feel like somewhere along the lines of any relationship, like dating type of relationship, you definitely engage in sexual activities. So if you're not sexually compatible from the beginning, it's a recipe for disaster.
I'm coming from the perspective of looking at that compatibility, compatibility as, let's say, your blood type and things like that, which would play a huge role when you're married, because you want to know if this person is AS and I'm AS, what result are we going to get for our child? Is it an SS? Would they be AS? Right? Because those things can lead to consequences later on. But I'm not saying that they should test it before marriage.
So, you know, I think sex plays a big role when dating. And I feel like if you guys don't click on that, it just doesn't make sense to continue taking it to the next step, which is conventionally marriage.
I think it does, but then it doesn't, right? It shouldn't be the main reason why you say, I'm compatible with this person. However, if you don't, and if you're not compatible and you end up getting married and you find out, oh, I'm not really with this person, it makes the marriage a little less enjoyable. So, as much as you love that person, you wouldn't really enjoy it as much as you're expecting to.
Can the disagreeers now speak?
Well, I think that like sexual compatibility should be like maybe when you are about to get married, that's when it should be like maybe brought up. But then if it's like in the beginning of dating, I think it shouldn't be brought up.
All right, so if we are dating for marriage, number one thing that I understand is that anything you take on a test drive, you're not going to keep it forever. Number two, there is no such thing as sexual compatibility. It's all built on fantasies that we've had, what we've been exposed to, what we've been watching. That is where sexual compatibility is built. It's fantasies that I want them to do this to me, I want them to touch me this way, etc., etc. And after all, the Word of God does say in John that the Holy Spirit will teach you all things. So if there is love, if you guys are clicking on the 4 levels that humans are supposed to click on, which is spiritual, physical, emotional, and intellectual, I believe that the sex is still going to be great even after marriage. You don't need to take it on a test drive.
So for me, I would say sex shouldn't be really a big thing when you are like dating, because it's not marriage. You are now starting something. You get me? So you're not supposed to know whether like just like have sex, I'm going to be compatible with him or her after marriage something. And even how, from what she said, the Bible quotes somewhere that you're not supposed to do fornication and adultery. You get me? So all this sex leads to these things, and then you are breaking the 10 commandments of the Lord.
Okay, so I feel like in the long run, right? You guys were mentioning like marriage, you're dating for marriage and stuff, so it's not really a big deal. I feel like when it comes down to it, for most of the stories of separation that I've seen, they mention sex as one of the biggest factors that cause them to separate from their spouse in the long term, because sexual compatibility is non-negotiable with the one person that you want to spend your forever with. So I feel like you should first of all confirm sexual compatibility before you make long-term, lifelong commitments to somebody, because it's better to end it as a relationship than to get into marriage and realize that you're not sexually compatible and then you break up the marriage 6 months later.
Yeah, but I think that that's something that comes up when you're seeking that relationship by yourself, because eventually it's God that made that relationship. And right from time, Adam and Eve didn't need to test their compatibility before knowing whether they were,
Sexually compatible.
Sorry, can I respond?
They didn't really have a choice. There were the only 2 people that God.
Yeah, but I'd like to respond to that. When you say sexual compatibility, it doesn't mean that you should necessarily have sex before marriage. It just means that you should like the same kind of things. You should have the same fetish. You should want someone to do the same things to you or with you. Do you understand? Not opposite belief systems. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Favour Michael, and I'm a BSc student here at ALU. I'm on the open-minded team. Okay, when it comes to sexual compatibility, I think that it's one of the core building blocks of every relationship. And so you need to check for compatibility earlier on in the relationship, before you get other feelings attached and then you break up and then, hearts are broken and everybody's crying, yeah? So I feel like you need to check not just by having sex, like practicing the act, but you need to know if the same things interest you, if the same things trigger your attention and all of that before you go into a relationship with someone. So similar interests, like minds and stuff like that. That's why I feel like sexual compatibility is very, very important.
Yeah, that sounds more like lustful type of thoughts where you're fantasizing.
Because, okay, I wanted to say that what you entertain in your mind is eventually going to become part of you. So what you're also seeing is also going to become part of your soul and all of that. So when you open up such a door, again, there's going to have to be wisdom for you guys to know to be like, okay, let's stop. We're not going to do this. We're not going to get into penetration. Because let's be honest, you're not going to stop exactly where you started. So, and sex, again, also has got dangers. It's a whole freaking spiritual portal. You're taking in things that you're not so sure of by just saying, oh, I'm not compatible with you. Oh, I'm not compatible. Or we're compatible, but then you're not boring me. So what's the next move after that? Yeah.
I forgot what I was saying.
Any girl who needs a guy that can provide should be ready to give her body.
So for me, I would say you are ready to take, right? You are ready to take. You are eager to take. You want me to pay half of your bills for you? That's fine. We can do that as friends. But then one day I'll be like, yo, why am I doing all this for you? Can you just let me smash once? Calm. After that, not like no contradiction, nothing. Like, yeah, because I've done this for you. So like, it's not like because I've done it for you, but then, bro, you talking to me any day, anytime, triggers something, and I would want to pa.
I beg it's content though, I beg. I beg. You know. So I think it's like kind of what he said, but not that. You have to understand that like most girls that are looking for providers, right, mostly come with the selfish mindset most of the time, right? I'm not saying it's not normal to look for a man that's a provider. It's normal, but most of the time that girls do that, it's not mean they're looking for their own, personal interest. No, as a guy that has tendencies, that has, desires, you would want to go with your own um, personal, selfish approach to that situation. So I think it kind of makes sense. Okay, just a little bit. What you think? No? Okay.
Thank you. Can those disagreeing now speak?
So for me, I think like it would depend. Like if you're married, and then you need to be provided to. It's obvious you have to give your body, or I don't know. But then if you are dating, or you're just dating, I don't think like if a guy provides, like I have to give my body, or what. Maybe you can do something else, but not giving your body.
I feel like in terms in terms of like having a relationship, so most people go into a relationship for a trade by barter situation. They want to give and they want to receive something in return for what they've given, which is what they've explained right now with the I give you money, so what else do you have to give me? Yeah. But I feel like in that kind of scenario now, it doesn't really add up. Like for a girl now, for example, I believe that a girl should be able to take care of her stuff by herself. Yeah. So if you're looking for a guy to just leech on him and drain him, that's why I was on the fence about agreeing or disagreeing. But I feel like if you're looking to just take from a person, they should be willing to take back from you, because they are not your father, you get. At the same time, I feel like when it comes to relationships, so if you don't have any, you should have something to offer as a girl that is not your body. So if they give you cash gifts and stuff, you should be able to reciprocate in terms of maybe you cook and you invite them over, or you buy them gifts when it's their birthday, or something that is not your body, because life is like there has to be a balance in life.
Birthday gifts.
I would agree with her in the fact that I would say that love is a giver. So love gives. Whether you're the man that wants to give or you're the lady that wants to give, love gives. So when you're giving, and you're giving with all your heart because you love the person, you're not looking for anything back. If you're looking for anything back, yeah, you have not reached that point of love. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. He didn't ask for you anything back. So yeah, that's my take.
Please, so if you look inside the Bible, they tell you that God created the men as providers and the women as helpers. So yes, we can help you, and your own is to provide. There's no question about that. We are just here to help.
All right, so I'm also in agreement with what Nana just said, right, as well as Ogo. She said that for God so loved the world, right? And the same thing again, the same model comes back again in Ephesians chapter 5 when God is telling us about marriage from verse 22 going down. Then he says that Christ loved the church and he gave himself, right? And then again, it also talks about if a man loves the way a man loves his own body is the same way that he's supposed to love what? His wife. The same thing again also goes on to say that if he cares for his body, protects it, nourishes it, and all of that, it's the same thing that it's supposed to do for his wife. So if y'all are dating for marriage, then that has to be the model. That has to be the template, period.
I actually disagree with I agree with some part, but I disagree with some, because all of you are saying that the Bible model says that you give, and like if true love gives without expecting anything in return. But that place you quoted, John 3:16, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, so that what? So that whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. He gave one to get more. The Bible always deals on giving and receiving. Yeah. So if you want to stick with the Bible model, yeah. So he who goes forth bearing precious seed will come again bearing sheaves in his hand. So many places in the Bible, almost everywhere it talks about giving. It talks about equally receiving. Yeah, and the same thing with the bodies in the part that talks about marriage. It talks about giving your body and also each party submitting their body completely to the other. So you give submission, you receive submission in return. So I believe that every relationship should be balanced. There must be a balance of giving and receiving. Everyone who gives and gives and gives, like I said, a lot of my friends are guys, and a lot of those people, I've had conversations with them, and they've told me that the reason why some of the allegedly best relationships that they had got bad was because they felt they were giving so much, this kind of thing, take it all, but you never give. It gets draining to a point where you feel like a burden, a liability, a bill. Do you get? And then, so I feel like every relationship, it doesn't have to be sexually reciprocated, but giving has to be reciprocated so that each party feels equally appreciated.
Yeah, and that's why I actually said that love is a giver. Because in as much as I said that you're not expecting anything back, because you give wholly. So that means if someone feels loved, they will also give to you, whether or not you ask. But what is your mindset when you're giving that? Are you giving that because you want something back? Right? God doesn't give something because he wants something back. He's not demanding it from you. But he expects, like, you feel loved, I know that you're going to love me back. So love is a giver, it naturally gives.
I get that we're doing the whole biblical thing, but then let's get back to reality. You can, let's say I agree, right? The guy gives you money for your bills and stuff, you give him your body, and then one day he gets bored or he sees something else he likes. So you just wasted your time.
Yeah, and the thing kind of sounds like prostitution.
I'm sorry. What's the point that you gave? I forgot the point you gave.
Me?
Yes.
I said, like, if you're married, it's okay. They can give you the money and okay, but not this. I don't mean that's all you have to give as a woman, like in marriage. But then, like, you can do it. But then, if you're dating, you don't have to give your body just because he provided. You can do something else, like.
I don't know the purpose of looking for a provider when it comes to dating, right? As I understand, dating is like a trial to marriage, right? Honestly, I don't know why you should be looking for somebody you're just going to date that's going to pay your bills and things like that. Okay, cool. So me doing those, taking that initiative, which is initiative of a husband, right? Being a provider, being a something, you should take the initiative of being a wife, which is, you know what I mean?
I actually agree with him on that part, because what are you really looking for?
Okay.
You want your fellow student that's also trying to make ends meet to provide for you. That means you're wicked.
I'm giving you something that's precious. Money can buy a lot of things. What are you doing?
If you just did it by himself, then.
The prompt was, what was the prompt again? I'm so sorry.
Provision for your body.
Money for your body.
Yeah, so it's the girl that is wanting it, not the guy. The guy's not the one that.
Like, if you're looking for a provider, you should be ready to give up your body. Yeah, if you're looking for a husband material, you should be ready to be wife things.
Okay, hers is that she's looking for a husband, right? Let's say, okay, growing up, your dad's provided for you, right? Because your dad loves you. He did it out of his own free will. I'm not saying you don't have to reciprocate, but then there are other ways to give back. My dad would joke, he's paying for water, I drink free water, I eat free food, I'm under his roof rent free, I use the toilet for free, so...
But that's your dad, though.
Exactly, that's my point. I'm getting to my point, wait. So that's your dad, right? My point is that there are other ways to reciprocate the provision you are being provided. You don't. It doesn't have to be sexually. It doesn't have to be your body.
Those ways, like those ways you are not
Okay.
I heard a saying cooking, bro. Can't I cook?
Okay, hold on. Let me say something.
I cook my own food, bro.
Okay, so
There's basically KFC.
So you see the truth.
Then provide for yourself. Don't come and tell me I
You
should
see
do
the
something.
thing. You see the thing. Even with parents, yeah, a lot of people think that parents give unconditionally, and I don't think that is true. They give you everything you need to grow up. They train you as best as they can, so that when you grow up, you will make them proud and take care of them in old age. So most parents have that expectation. If you will not take care of them in old age, at least you make them proud. You go to school, you do the things they want you to do. Yeah. So basically, I think that like I said before, every relationship has to be balanced in giving and receiving. So every giving has to be reciprocated. At the same time, it doesn't have to be sexual. If it's 100% sexual, it's going to get very boring for both parties and they're going to move on, yeah? For it to be sustainable, I think that if the guy if the guy is going to be giving financially, yeah, there are other ways. Like I said, if it's going to be a relationship, not just hookup kind of setting. If it's going to be an actual relationship, there are other things as a lady she can do to reciprocate that thing.
So the same way that you're saying sex is not sustainable enough, those other ways, do you think it's sustainable enough?
Diversity, mix it up.
It has to be balanced in a
Yeah,
relationship because you don't just get married and it's all about sex.
Exactly.
There's the emotional part, there's the financial part, there's the psychological part.
If it's going to be a relationship, yeah, so there's more to life. Like I've lived my life with the principle that there's so much more to life than sex, yeah. So for example, there is emotional support. Now that is something that you can't just get anywhere. Someone to listen to you, truly empathize, comfort you, and make you feel better. A lot of people are really good at that stuff. A lot of ladies and even some guys are really good. Okay, and that's good. But that's also something that should be sought for in a relationship, that can be provided by a person in a relationship. Being emotionally available to you, like, hey guy, hey lady, hey babe, or whatever it is you call yourselves. I'm feeling really upset and I need someone to talk to. And they're like, okay, I'm available, let's talk, right? So there are so many ways, because in as much as you're saying that and if it comes to food, you can cook for yourself, most ladies these days can actually provide for themselves. So for you to be providing, it's out of your free will.
No, that's not the question.
All right, so
the question is, right? You're a lady.
If
you want somebody if you want somebody to provide for you, right? You should be ready to give up your body. Hi, my name is Lamine. I am a ALU student. I am a part of the open-minded team. So the prompt that I was interested in was a woman that's looking for a provider should be ready to give up her body. I think. Honestly speaking, you shouldn't be looking for a husband material if you're not ready to make a sacrifice as such. You know what I mean? I feel like providing for somebody is quite the responsibility, and I think it's a responsibility that's more so linked to marriage. So if you want to, have marriage benefits, you should also be able to give those marriage benefits, right?
Okay, what about guys who are looking for ladies to take their body, so to speak, and not willing to give them much in return? What is the lady gaining out of that interaction?
That's why you should flee from everything.
We're here to study.
yes, I wanted to say, number one, again, if you guys did your research well or your talking stage well, right? You're supposed to understand the levels of compatibility even on this issue of giving, number one. Number two, again, I believe that to every person, you should also have a benchmark of how much you can give. You should then ask yourself, is it still okay? Because for example, let's say, like you mentioned, we're all students here. Should I be paying someone else's school fees? Is that going to be making sense? Who brought you here? Why are you here? And how did you get here? So you should ask that person that, okay, how did you get here? And they should just pay the fees, right? So you should have a benchmark. And as much as we're saying, yes, love is good and when it comes to giving, but you should also have a benchmark when it comes to that. And when you feel that the giving is not reciprocated, it's okay to walk away. And if you feel that the person also now needs more from you, it's still okay to walk away, period.
Yeah, that's why I'm on Lamine's team of education. Both of you should be like, how can we support each other in this educational journey, right? Yeah, you study, right?
If you aren't posting your partner, it is because you're still keeping your options open.
I agree with it. But at the same time, it's like there's so many other factors that can come to play in this.
Okay, so who is in between, neither agreeing or disagreeing? Now, can those in between speak?
Okay, so I feel like first of all, social media is a very superficial thing, yeah. So like since I've been here at ALU, like I've not really posted much about being on campus. I post trivial things, things that are not so important to me. So if someone I'm dating should see themselves on my social media, then they should be worried because it means they don't really mean that much to me. Do you get? Exactly. At the same time, there's a level of commitment. If you're committed to something, like I do certain things every single day, and I never post about them. You would never see them on any of my social media platforms. But I'm so committed to those things. So you can be committed offline, and you can be playing online. Yeah, that's my opinion.
All right, so I'd say that I'm 50-50. Why? Because it could also be for privacy, protection, and reputation. Because let's be honest, if you're going to be here for 3 years and at the rate which most people are moving at here, and every person you're going to date posts you, that means that at the end of the day, all of this could literally come back and bite you. That, oh, okay, this is how many exes you have, and we don't know what you were doing with them, right? So then again, on the other side, I also appreciate people posting, right? Because you don't know what the other person is doing in their DMs. Maybe that's where the component of trust has to come in. Because if the person is supposed to post you so that they don't cheat, then I don't think that's also logical to some extent. So privacy, yes, but posting maybe to keep you secure, I don't know, or to keep the person from cheating, I don't know.
So for me, I would say also 50-50. I would love if you post me. But for me personally, I would post you on my private story, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I have private story. I cannot be showing out my love to the whole world. People might be like, can you pass me her number? I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? So I'll not just like, like when you post your woman on social media, on status, on story, people be like, can you just send me a handle or a number? I'm like, man, that's my woman. So to prevent that, yeah, privacy. To prevent that, I will post to my private story. My private story, I know that these people, they know that this is my woman. So for me, so yeah.
Yeah. I'm not much of a social media person, which is one of the reasons why I'm in between, because I mostly don't post. If you even see my face, you should be happy. You are blessed. But I think that one other thing that we can consider is that privacy, like they were saying, because let's say you finally settle down, you've been viral dating for some reason, right? Testing the waters, studying, right? At the end of the day, you find out that people are going to go to dig in your past, and they're going to say, oh, see, this is when they were dating, telling your husband. And how many of your exes do you want your spouse to actually know? But even at the same time, you want to tell your spouse yourself rather than him going on social media or somebody coming and saying, oh, see, they dated. They're best friends, but they dated. Some people settle amicably.
I agree with what they say. Like they said everything I wanted to say. And at the same time, it's like somebody might actually, not post their significant other due to the fact that they do want to keep their options open. You know what I mean? I've heard multiple stories as such. So it's really broad, this posting thing. I don't think we should post anything. I think we should just focus on our studies.
That's also a form of study.
Okay, I have a couple of points. First of all, well, maybe they could not post their partner because they want to keep their options open. Second, I feel like most relationships that are publicized a lot on social media end up failing. So I believe in private but not a secret. Yes, maybe once a while you post so that at least people know that you're in a relationship. But don't be putting all your business out there. Because that is how it's going to break. You put your business out there, everybody is commenting on it. You read those comments and doubt starts to sort of take seed in your mind. Like, what if what this person said is true? What if this is how he's actually thinking? Because people have different opinions, and if you allow that to corrupt your love, you're going to break your love. Third, I feel like, yes, you should post your partner once a while, right? Because AUTV posted, you don't post your partner and then you think everybody will know that that's your girlfriend. We don't know, so we'll move. You understand? So post, but don't make it too much.
So I could post you and then I just like I say he's just a friend, or he paid me for me to post him, so it's okay. So I think it means nothing. It doesn't mean that I'm keeping my options like open or what. It means nothing. So I don't know.
If I post you, it's birthdays only, sure. Because I'm not letting anybody see that this is my man. Then one girl get jealous, now try and start moving and be like, I want to see what exactly is so nice about this guy that you posted. So then you do one, it will end up with somebody cheating. It's going to be a whole wreck. So I feel like privacy matters a lot in your relationship.
Yeah, very
If
even post.
there's nothing to be jealous about or to corrupt your relationship if virtually online nobody really knows. Right? What matters is that I'm dating you, you're dating me, we're in a relationship, we're working towards marriage, we have our understanding, we are in our own little world. That's it. We don't need any outside voices.
For me, I think that one thing I've noticed as a common factor on social media is something called the evil eye. So when you have something, I've seen like a literal big theory about it. You have something good, it's working very well for you. The moment you post it, it goes bad. So I've seen so many situations. Like there's this particular person on Twitter. It wasn't a relationship, so she was always having Twitter Spaces and bragging about how supportive her family was and everything. And like after 8 months of the Twitter Spaces and all, she suddenly went silent. We were looking for her, and then we finally found her, and she said that like three of her relatives died within a month. So that made me actually to withdraw a little bit from social media, because that thing is really big, so people cannot spoil what they don't know. So keep your life private in summary.
If we are just talking, I am 100% allowed to be just talking to 3 other people at the same time. Can those agreeing now speak?
Oh, okay. So, to me, there is no commitment, right? You are talking. It's not like I'm your boyfriend or you're my girlfriend or something. There's space for that. We haven't defined any boundaries. Okay. There's no defined boundaries in that relationship. I mean, we are just talking. It's just a conversation. You can have conversations with other people. So until we place a definition or a boundary or a title on that thing we have, do what you want. I mean, I'm not coming to tie you down. So
Yeah, like she said, like as long as no, as long as like there was not like no like clear instructions or like clear boundaries being set on like, oh yeah, like I don't care, like that's your concern. Like if you don't like it, it's my concern, bro. Like bro, I'm talking to that bitch, okay, and so like bro, I don't know, just me, man. What about you?
I think I'm on the same page as my colleagues there, because if it's just talking, there's literally nothing to it, right? We're just exploring options. Are we going to make sense if we eventually get into dating? So why should I not be talking to other people? Let's just keep the options open, because imagine spending 6 months in a talking stage and you're not talking to other people. Then after coming back from that, girl, please.
Yeah, so for me, I think that this whole thing, it's like when you go to the market, you want to buy something. Okay. You want to buy something, you don't have any loyalty to a vendor that you have not patronized yet, Like me, I'm very loyal with my salon person. So unless you have made my hair before, well, I cannot be loyal to you. And I think that's the same thing that applies to relationship. Unless you guys have decided to commit to something, there's really, really nothing to be loyal to in the first place.
Yeah, I also agree, because you can talk to someone else. I can also talk to someone else. So there's no commitment.
All right. Can those disagreeing now speak?
Okay, so for me, I believe in the concept you cannot look into one Fanta bottle with 2 eyes. You only use one eye to peep into the bottle. So if I'm talking to you, I don't expect talking stage to go to 6 months, as she was saying. 4, 5 days, 2 weeks. You're supposed to know whether you like me or not. You move on. Why are you stretching it? Right on the spot, when the person moves to you, you know his intentions, you know whether you like him or you don't like him. You just like, bro, I don't like you. That's all. The person moves on.
So like you're saying that like you want your intentions to be clear enough so you can proceed to the next stage.
Yeah. So
there's
when I
no
start
need to like be talking
to
for like
talk
6
to
months.
you
Oh, got you.
so once I start talking to you, like today I talk to you, I call you today, I call you tomorrow, bro. What do you mean? So I start talking to you today, I call you today, I call you tomorrow, I call you on 3 days consecutively. Am I a doctor? I have an end goal, and then in that process of talking, you know that I'll make mention of that, you know, so you know that this guy really likes me. Do I like him? No. Then I push him, and I talk to the next person. That's all.
Yeah. For me, if the prompt had said I have the right to talk with one other person, I would have said, okay, I agree. But why are you looking at 3 other people? Like, are you doing viral kind of stuff? Are you a player? I mean, if the first person is just, you're still in that just talking stage, then maybe if someone else comes around. But if you're looking at other options, I'm like, are you testing the waters? Okay, there are many fish in the sea, but come on, narrow down.
Acquah. 3 days is not enough to decide a life partner.
Exactly.
It's not. It's dating. Dating. Are you dating for games? You said you don't date for fun.
Yeah.
If you are dating, you're working towards something, which is marriage. Abi, you don't expect
have to
to.
be married.
I mean, that's eventually. You're working towards something long term.
Something like
Does that have to be long term either?
Dating should be intentional.
Yeah.
6 months
So
dating.
let's
Why
go-
are you dating only for 6 months?
You know that at times you feel like you've met your life partner, but then on the contrary, he or she's not your life partner.
Because you
get a
spoke for 3
supporter.
days.
No. Once I move to you,
Uh-huh.
you know, at times it's not only the character that counts.
Yes.
You know, at times
Infatuation and love
The
are
intelligence.
different.
how the
You
person
can't
is.
You need to study from them.
exactly. You need to
approach.
study in your own words. You need to study. You
No, you
can't
need to study.
can you pass an exam?
It's for studies.
Can you pass an exam because you studied in 3 days?
Okay, my name is Nana. I'm in the January 2026 intake, and I'm doing BEL, and I'm on the open-minded team. So regarding that last prompt about talking to 3 other people while you're talking to one person, if you haven't asked me to be your girlfriend, and I haven't said yes, I don't see why I should be limited to only you. Right? If 3 other people have approached me, I feel like I should talk to all of you, see who is the best fit for me, and then I can proceed with whoever I want. Now, Acquah now said it should take about 3 days for you to determine you love me. Shit don't work like that, bruh. Okay? Because you don't use 3 days to decide, I love somebody in my whole heart. I want to spend like forever with them. It's going to break. You don't do that. You have to take your time. If you, let's say you want to get a lifetime subscription that can be cancelled at a gym, I mean, you explore the gyms, you go to each everyone, see which one works best for you, which one is more convenient, has better conditions, and then you make a decision. And that doesn't take 3 days. At most, if you want to do that, if you are really in a hurry, at most a month. Not 3 days or 1 day or 2 days because you called 3 times in a row. That was your own free will. It's not because of love.
In the same realm what you're talking about, right? Dating, whoever you date doesn't mean that you love the person.
You're
right?
studying it,
Like,
you're getting to know
it's not, I'm not saying every time you date somebody, like every time you date somebody, you don't. It's like love is something.
The thing is
it's
that-
unexplainable.
Yeah, but
So
dating-
like, I mean, you might date somebody, right? You might think you love the person, but you actually might not actually love the person.
That
Exactly.
is
should
why
be-
Nana is saying, I
Yeah.
need to take my time.
You,
so it's
you
okay to
take
keep
you
my
don't
options
use
open.
3 days to
because
decide.
3
Oh,
days
this is
is-
something I
that is
want
actually
to do.
You can even use
Right?
2 days.
I get where you're coming from.
You can use 2 days.
I think if you go into a relationship and your end goal is that you just date for 6 months or 3, you have a short-term goal. That means you're already planning to fail.
I don't think-
Why don't you
Exactly.
go in
And
and
at the same
go
time
in
again-
intentionally? If it fails, you know that you at least went all the way. You weren't
How
just
can
planning
you
for a
say you
short
know someone for like 3 days and you already know them enough to commit to them? Because you're saying you're not dating for fun. So how
Yeah,
can you
I'm
commit
not
to
dating
somebody
for
that
fun. You know,
Thank you guys, your time.
Please send the prompt. Let's create a group chat. Send the prompt so that we'll finish discussing
There
this.
is
We'll increase this time for the.
Submission in a relationship can only work if the man is paying 100% of the bills. So if you're 50-50, please signify. Can those who are in between speak?
Okay, so I think when it comes to submission, yeah, I think that it's actually both ways. So, in as much as the lady is submitting, the guy is also submitting. And finally, submission and all those things, it's only for marriage, in my opinion. You would do that one in dating per se, but on a more serious note, yeah. When it comes to paying 100% of the bills, bills do not constitute even 10% of a relationship. So you can take care of 100% of the bills and be 100% emotionally unavailable in the alleged relationship. So I think that submission would work. That's why I said I'm 50-50. Like, yes, it's good for him to pay the bills so that if they want to play traditional roles. However, as a Gen Z that I am, I know that there's a concept of like bill sharing and being consciously emotionally available and submissive on both parts. Yeah.
So, like I always like to say, I think everything in life is relative. Everything in life is circumstantial, especially in this situation where I think if a man takes the initiative or takes the responsibility to lead and pay all of the bills that plays, it might not play a significant role in our relationship, but it plays a significant roles in our daily lives, in our comfortability, right? So I think if I take the lead, if I take the initiative to take care of that, you should be able to submit yourself into trusting me to like, you know what I mean, to lead. I don't know if you guys get what I'm trying to say. Feel what I'm saying? But everything has its, you know.
All right, thank you. And the Sabiras now speak.
I think like he doesn't have to be paying like 100% of the bills for you to submit. Even if maybe you agreed that it will be 50-50, you still have to submit. Yeah. So that's better.
All right, my take is to say submission doesn't really encompass only bills. There has to be a lot that you're doing. I cannot just submit, especially if we're saying in a relationship setup, I cannot just submit because you're taking care of me financially. How about all the other aspects of life, right? And it's just really it just really doesn't make sense if you're just taking care of a person financially and then you just expect them to submit. What if we're not of the same beliefs and all of that? There's a whole lot more that comes with submission. And I also don't think that submission should be an exchange or something. It should be natural, right? It's the natural order. And it should be, again, if you love a person, right? Not just submit, oh, you pay my bills, okay, I submit. No, it's not that type of thing.
so for me, I'll side with her with the part that she said submission is supposed to be natural. I don't need to pay full 100% bills before you have to submit to me, you know. Yeah, pardon me for it. But then I feel like it's something that, you know, it's a right thing to do, right? You know, like he's my man, I'm supposed to respect him or all those stuff.
I mean, it's respect is not doesn't equal to submission.
Yeah, you know, like I'm supposed to do this, do that. I'm not waiting for him or her to pay the bills before I'll be like, I'm supposed to do this.
Yeah, for me, I think before I said that love naturally gives. Now I say that love also brings that submission. So just like was said, right? Mitchelle said, that love will birth that submission that you're looking for. And it's not the money, because there are many relationships that failed. Whether he was providing all the bills or not, it failed, right? So was that money enough to buy her? Because basically that's what you're doing, you're buying her, right? And the money was not enough to buy her. So at the end of the day, what is the context of that love? Because I think most men are naturally breadwinners. So they want to provide for you because they love you. So if it becomes to that point where they're like demanding that you have to submit, they're forcing you to submit because they're paying all your bills, then that's a dangerous relationship that you need to run from. It's a red flag.
Okay. For me, first of all, I believe that I agree with Favor. Submission is for marriage because according to the Bible says, "Wives submit to your husbands, husbands to the same." So my next point, first of all, submission isn't just for the lady to do. Wives submit to your husbands, husbands submit to your wives. It's a balanced thing. Everything in life is balanced. Now, I don't think submission means like people make submission sound like a slave and master kind of relationship.
Yeah.
So the man's whatever the man says, you have to do, and you're trying to make your decisions, and you're like, oh, my husband says he doesn't like this. So no. To me, submission is letting the man lead. So as much as yes, he's the head of the relationship, you guys discuss, come to a balanced ground, a level ground, a compromise. Thank you very much. You come to a compromise which works for both of you, and then you let that flow. It doesn't mean whatever he says you must do. You are two human beings. You can't agree with everything.
Okay. I feel like the first thing to even answer this question properly is to understand and fully contextualize what do you mean by submission, because it's the context that determines what is right or wrong in any given situation.
Exactly.
So in terms of submission, now what I view as submission is basically submitting, like giving yourself that understanding that I'm not doing this life alone. I have somebody, and everything I'm going to do in a way that this person and me, it's a partnership. Yeah. So I think that's my view on submission in itself. So when you say submission, so that's why two people must submit to each other, because I can't discuss my ideas with you and then you go ahead and be making independent decisions out there that might affect me negatively or in any way.
So would you say the submission is not really toward the person, but it's toward the relationship?
Yes. Yeah. So it's not really like he's my head, I am the neck kind of situation. It's more like we're working with each other. We're both
We're doing
hands.
this for the both of us.
Yeah.
But I think in every teamwork, because we can also look at relationships as a teamwork,
Yeah.
right? There is the person that takes the lead, and in as much as I agree with what you were saying, right? We also must put in that place where okay, there's someone that's leading, right? So let's say they're agreeing together, they're both bringing their points together. Then someone is like, okay, so maybe the wife is like, oh, I want to do this, and then the husband is like, you know, it doesn't. I think we can do it this way. Yeah. So just like she was saying, compromise, right? Yeah. So both of you are talking, both of you are discussing, and whatever this decision is made, the leader will just say, okay, let's go, and both of you go. You know where you're going to. You've both agreed. So there's no.
My name is Ogochukwu John Wakalo. I'm a student of ALU. I'm on the faith-based team. So I think that submission is something that just comes naturally when you're loved. It's a response. So when you feel loved, just like God loved us, right? He loves us so much, and so naturally we submit to him. And that's the same way that you should see submission as, not slavery, but love.
Yeah. So in summary, me, I feel like bills don't really have much to do with
Exactly.
submission in this context.
Well, I think it does.
Well, for me, I'd say-
Finish. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have much to do with, like, bills don't have much to do with submission in this context, because you cannot buy a person's submission. Yeah. It's just like saying, because I'm paying for everything, you answer to me. Yeah, and that's basically what a lot of parents, like strict parents, do with their children. Not under my roof, you know. And most of those children rebel. So that's a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. If you guys have the mutual understanding of who pays what and how you do your bills, that's separate. That's all part of understanding each other and partnership. But you can't buy submission by paying bills.
Yeah, but I also think that it's not the direct act of buying, but it's the essence of the act, right? So let's say you see the initiative that I take, the responsibility that I take to take care of the bills, right? Which is the house, putting a roof under our heads, making sure there's light, making sure there's water, making sure there's all these things, me taking responsibility, shows that I'm responsible enough to lead and responsible enough for you to trust me with, you know, this major aspect of our lives. It might not be a major aspect of our relationship. Actually, it is a major aspect of our relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think
I think the thing with that is that at the end of the day, you have to still, you can't make a decision. One man can't build an island, right? So if the person is just making a decision, okay, trust me, what if there's a mistake? There's something that you may not see, but your wife will see, right? Or she may not see, but you will see. So when two work together as one, there's that partnership that you can actually, you know, avoid those mistakes that come. There are many men that say, okay, I need to make the decision myself. At the end of the day, you find out that your wife would have helped you. They said behind every successful man, there's a woman, right? So your wife would have helped you see what you could not see.
Okay, I feel like if you link submission to bills, that's when it becomes like I'm slave and master. Like I'm doing this for you, so you have to do this for me.
Yeah.
Submission isn't just like one person doing everything. It's like you have an idea, you come to me, we discuss it because we are in the same boat. You can't do something that would benefit you and now puts me at a difficult situation. We have to discuss it, come to a point where it helps you, helps me. And then we go ahead with it. We don't just say, I want this, and because I paid for the bills, you owe me. So you have to do this.
Your partner should have 0 close friends of the opposite sex. Seeing that we have 2 persons agreeing to this prompt, can those agreeing now speak?
So I think like if your partners, he or she should be your only close friend, and like anything that you want to discuss, you could discuss it with your partner, maybe, or your family, but not like other friends. So yeah, I think he or she he or she should have no other close friends apart from you, like the partners.
Okay, so for me, as she said, I'm your partner. Once I'm your partner, I'm your everything. I'm your husband. I'm your brother. I'm your close friend. I'm your God. You confide in me. Yeah. But what do you understand by God? What do you understand by God? God has a lot of definitions, but what do you understand by God?
Just continue,
Yeah. So why must you have a close friend that's opposite gender, like someone like me is a guy and he's a close friend, like let's say in terms of bestie something, to do what? For what? Can't you confide in me?
Hey, sorry.
Can't you come to me and tell me this and this and that? The gisting you're going to gist with him, can't you gist with me?
Yeah.
What you need from him, can't you get it from me? I don't even have.
Now, can those disagreeing speak?
So, in terms of people, yeah, as an individual, different friends play different roles. Different people in your life play different roles. There are the ones who you call when you're sad, when you're happy. You know, there are good news friends, there are bad news friends, so to speak, yeah. And to be very honest, expecting one person, which is your partner in this case, to fill up all those shoes is going to put too much pressure on them and too much pressure on the frame that is your relationship, which will make it to break in due time. It may take a while, it will break. And secondly, any relationship where you isolate yourself, whether it's the male or the female, you isolate yourself and your partner to just be in a focused relationship with yourself, I believe that that's a toxic relationship, yeah? Because you have no one to cry out to when things get sour.
All right, my take is to say you cannot just anticipate me to get with you and then drop everybody else. You do not know the significance of some of the people that are in my life. So just because I'm now with you, I cannot necessarily drop everybody. There are people that have been there for the longest time, people that have helped me, and we're still in good books. So I cannot necessarily just drop people because you're there as a male part in my life. I mean, as my partner. And again, if it's a relationship, if I drop people, then we date, we break up, then I'm supposed to go back and say, that relationship is over, so can we start again? No, it's not going to make sense. But still, even in a marriage, your husband or your partner should be still in a position to understand that I found these people here, I should respect that, period.
For me, saying that I should have zero friends is so crazy and crazy. So, what I'll say is that it's a red flag. Any guy or any relationship where the person is expecting you to like cut off all your relationships, then that's a big red flag. Just run. And but there's something about relationship that both of you, especially when you're married, and speaking from that perspective, both of you are partners. So let your friends become his friends. Let his friends become your friends. That way, he's not saying, who are you talking to? You say it's Ben. He'll say, okay, it's Ben. Okay, nice, we're friends.
Yeah, I feel like what she said, I feel like it's a red flag. When you come into a relationship where, it's serious, where marriage is involved, I think you should work on your internal issues. That screams insecurity, right? That screams lack of trust and confidence, whether it's in yourself or in anybody else. Exactly. So I think, you should definitely work on yourself if you feel uncomfortable with other people having other relationship with humans. That's normal.
So, yeah, I agree. I was about to say the same thing. The fact that you are asking me to cut off a particular close friend or close friends because you are now in the picture, it's giving you don't trust me and you are scared that I'm going to cheat on you. But to me, the reality is, if I wanted to be with them, why would I come for you in the first place? So I don't see why you should cut me. I should cut them off because you're in the picture. If I wanted them, I would have gone for them.
All right,
I
thank you
chose
so
you.
much, guys. Now you have 1 minute to debate
Okay.
your response. Your
Oh,
time starts.
okay. I didn't say cut them off. That's too strict in that. I said close friends, really close. We have friends and we have close friends, opposite gender. And the part that you said, when you harbor a lot of things on me, I might break. Did I tell you I'll break? I never said that.
Okay, first of all,
Do you know how tough I am?
I'm not coming to discuss that. They got here before you. I was talking to them before you came into the picture. I told them about you. There was no form of bad feelings. There was we are still we're friends. If we're close friends before you came in and nothing happened, I don't see why you should change that.
Okay. But besides that, what she said as well was a good factor. You guys can meet people of different genders, and all you guys are friends, and you guys would all,
Exactly.
that makes sense.
You being my partner, I will let you know, oh, this is my very close friend. We've been friends for years. And my friend meets you, oh, you're a nice guy, nice to meet you. That's it. If I've introduced my friend to you and there's no bad feelings, I don't see why you should have a problem.
And that your friend is.
And I think
On that part where you said that
More times
you're their
though.
god, right? That's giving like North Korean vibes. Like,
Yeah, and I think that this mentality of no close friends after like you're in a relationship with someone also stems from that your idea of not being able to have proper platonic friendships because you just feel like the relationship is not platonic because of your mentality.
Yeah.
Okay, you might say it's because of my mentality, but I believe in statistics, numbers, data, and I've seen that. Yeah. Yes, I've seen
So then
that.
why would I now date you and introduce you to that friend who is like my brother if I wanted to date him?
He's like your brother. To you, he's like your brother.
And to you,
he's
he's
not like your
competition
brother.
because you don't trust me. You're insecure.
Your issues, right? That's why he said.
The fact that
your
you
internal issues. Talk about it together. That's why you're partners.
The
Talk
fact that
about
you see
it.
that
I don't
friend-
feel- and then
The fact that you see that friend as a threat.
I'm not telling you to cut them off. I'm telling you to. They shouldn't be close friends anymore. You feel me? You can still be friends.
The fact that you are seeing that person as a threat means you don't trust me enough. And I don't see why I should be in a relationship with someone that doesn't trust me.
Okay, I think yeah.
Trust me, you don't love me, so period.
My name is Shakira Munganyinga. I'm on a faith-based team, and I'm a BSE student from AAU. And I had said that your partner should have 0 close friends. But then after hearing from what my colleague said, I think I changed my mind. I think he or she can have like close friends, but then he or she should set like clear boundaries on those close friends that he has. Yeah.
Virginity is a social construct that people use when they want to control someone else's freedom.
Are in-betweens allowed? I'm in between. Are in-betweens allowed?
Yes. Let's start with those agree.
Yeah.
So if you agree to it, signify. Those who agree to the prompt, you can now speak.
Okay. So I think that virginity is a social construct because number one, no one checks for the guy's virginity. It's always based on the woman, like is she a virgin and all of that. Secondly, women are. I believe that people are valuable. Virginity is, you can only lose it once, meaning that it's not that valuable in the long term. Yeah, as much as other features, character and stuff like that. So yeah, the construct of virginity, meaning purity and stuff like that, it's just a social construct to trap women.
Oh, it's me. Jesus. Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like this social construct was built based off cultural and religion norms, which is quite unrealistic when you put it in our everyday context, right? So besides me being a virgin, I'm a whole complete person. Like I'm a whole person that has different attributes, different qualities, different things to consider when it comes to marriage. I don't know why my virginity is like the main thing that like would add up to my value. That's crazy. I just feel like that's looking stupid.
All right, thank you.
I also agree. I also agree because I think, yeah. Well, I was going to talk about like divorce, like people who are divorced and type shit. Like maybe he wasn't, maybe he or she wasn't compatible or whatever with someone else, and then he or she lost her virginity, but still maybe he or she could work with you and can still be married and when she's not a virgin. So yeah, it's just a social whatever. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Right in time. So those who are in between, you can now speak.
All right, so I'd say number one, I'm in agreement with what Lamine said, that apart from all of these things regarding virginity, I am still a whole different person. I can still bring in different attributes and all of that you will find valuable in your life. Number one. Number two, we've also heard of people that got married as virgins and then still went on to cheat because people like, get married as a virgin, that's the only way you can protect your marriage, yada, 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 and all of that. Then number three, again, of course, there's some rules that are put into place to protect us. Why? Because when you start then engaging sexually, it's going to take a whole lot for you to be able to manage yourself and also handle everything else that comes with sexual intercourse and all of that. So I would say that I'm on the 50-50 side, yeah.
Okay, so 50-50. Okay. I'm in between. I'm in between, but don't get me wrong, I'm an advocate for abstinence because in as much as it may feel like virginity has no value because once you lose it, it doesn't count anymore. Still, it's that thing that you can actually say in a world where people are like, oh, I can just go freely and, spend myself. At the end of the day, you only see how many few virgins. Can you be one of those people? I mean, stand out, right? So it's a valuable thing. Well, what was the point again? Oh yes, so yeah, I also agree with that people do use it to make others afraid because, of course, you may have not been able to abstain. Maybe you were even raped, God forbid, right? Maybe you went into something, may round up. But yeah, it's not a deal breaker. Someone can still love you on that.
I have like 5 different points about why I agree and disagree. Right. Yes, there could be circumstances where maybe, God forbid, somebody was raped, so she's not a virgin. So I don't see why that should be a problem. Second, It brings me back to my point, my hot take, where I said virginity is not something you can easily find in this generation. Like, everybody wants to be free. So the fact that you say you want to marry a virgin, where are you going to find out? Even in church, there are church girls that look innocent, but they're baddies. 3, you don't, virginity, when the topic of virginity is mostly limited to the ladies, right? So it's always the guys who have been around like 55 different women and like, I want to marry a virgin. What about you? If I also say I wanted to marry a virgin, where are you?
All right, so I also wanted to say that to some extent, medically, they haven't been able to even prove if a person is or is not. So it's also, to some extent, it's just, I don't know, it's just mythological. And the same thing that she say that you cannot even test a guy's virginity, it's mostly on stereotypes and women that, oh, if a woman has slept around too much or she's not a virgin, then she's loose and all of that. So I really think it should be, to some extent, it should be controlled. Although, yes, I'm also very big on people abstaining.
But at the same time, it's like, it's not because you like y'all did stuff or like women lost their virginities that like they're open or like they're like, you know what I mean, just let anybody hit. Like, no, like, you know what I mean, like they might have 1 or 2 experiences where, you know what I mean, they might have actually trusted that person. It's not, you know, it's just.
It's a very big topic.
It's a big topic.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to topics, to this particular topic of virginity and whether or not it's a social construct, I think that growing up for most of us, it was a social construct. As a girl, you need to keep yourself pure and all of that. But after growing up to a certain extent, I realized that it's all about like, forget about the social construct. Yeah, think about how it affects you as a person. So if you go around doing stuff, yeah, it may make you happy in the moment, but in the long term, it may make you really, really sad and depressed. Yeah. So, like instant gratification for long-term detriments and stuff like that. So, abstaining with consciousness and knowledge of why you're doing it is actually beneficial. Yeah, it's very important. At the same time, I strongly believe that virginity does not define a person's worth, and that social construct is very wrong.
And even if we like define the virginity, like some people may be virgins, but maybe they masturbate or they fantasize things. So is your mind virgin?
Exactly. And also there are also people that have lost value in themselves, have lost themselves because they've just been told once you lose it, you're over with and done. You're not going to find anybody who wants to marry you. So it should be managed to some extent and not make it, marriage is literally all about that, where you're a good candidate because you are a virgin.
But also one thing that's really important that I think in our life is education.
I remember my point.
Okay, let me be very brief. First of all, I don't think your virginity should define how you should constrict your freedom, right? Because you are expected to go out and look for a man and get married to break that virginity with. So I don't see why you being a virgin should stop you from dating. It doesn't mean when you go into a relationship, spread your legs. But when you enter, look at the person before you decide, put a ring on it, and then you spread your legs. 2, yes, I kind of agree because sex is something spiritual, right? I don't know if everybody believes in spirituality, but a woman's organ is like, according to some people, the gateway to life. It brings life, right? So you have to be very careful with the kind of energies you let around there. That's true. Before you enter into a long-term relationship with someone, you end up sharing that energy. So if it's negative, your relationship is going to be affected because of the negative energy let around there. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I wanted to say something. I'm so sorry. A lot of times they also said that virginity is a determinant of fertility in a woman, but I don't think that science has proven that to be not true. I saw a woman who, I know the story of a woman who was married 10 years. She married as a virgin, but 10 years she was infertile. And then there was the one who had done maybe 15 abortions or more. 1 year into the marriage, she had given birth to twins.
Exactly. What about those that just
shine on both the evil and the good? Thank God.
what about those that just
So my advice to any ALU students out there is that, I don't know if you're a scholar or you're fee paying or you're on a grant, but either way you have paid money to be here to study, so please focus on that. Because the consequence of whatever relationship you're entering and whatever you want to study and discover, you may not be able to handle it. So what you were brought here to do it. You have more than enough time for that later.
So my advice would be to look at life within your reality. Don't focus on, norms and principles that were constructed by different people, but how you in your life is going on. You should move accordingly.
So my advice to ALU students is to focus on their studies, and then they can enter relationships after school, or if they have any relationship, it should not be like the main purpose. The main purpose should be like the studies.
All right, if you're going to get into a relationship, off campus, on campus, whatsoever you do, just make sure that the most fundamental thing, apart from God being the center of it, if you're faith-based, just make sure you guys are able to talk about anything, literally everything, intentions, purpose, whatsoever. I think that's what makes a relationship super duper great.
So my advice I would give to you is try new things, yeah. There's love for everyone, that's all, yeah, but then be careful, that's all.
There's a lot of time to fall in love. Don't only be focused on that. You have plenty time. So focus on your studies, but also don't be afraid to love someone.
Love yourself, because at the end of the day, no one can love you more than yourself. And only be in relationships that serve you, and start with a relationship with yourself and with God, definitely.